Shebah, I am so excited to talk with you today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Risa. Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here with you.
Now, this whole topic of exercise and movement, we all don't do enough. Well, not all of us, but 80% of us are not moving enough. So I'm hoping that you're going to help motivate us, help give us some ideas of like the simple things that we can do to kind of get up out of our chairs. But before that, I just love your story. I just love what you do, who you are, like what you represent. So I want you to share a little bit of that with the audience.
I am originally from Philadelphia, and I went to college in Columbus, Ohio, at Ohio State, and majored in marketing and communications. I wanted to be on TV and be a broadcaster. That didn't pan out so well, but I did work at Warner Communications for a while and did some on-air things. But eventually, I moved to Miami in 1989 because of the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weather. Got married and had a son. My son is 32 years old. He's a special needs individual who suffers with autism, but it is a wonderful success story and has partly made me who I am. And so when I got here, I took a series of positions in fundraising at University of Miami, at Florida International University, at the Performing Arts Center. And so I honed my craft of fundraising, event planning, and really enjoyed it and loved it. But around 2004, 2005, I decided that I wanted to be more of a mom and be there more for my son. I wanted to quit the corporate gig and branch out on my own in a bold new way. And so when I made that launch, I turned to fitness. Around 1997, I started doing exercises and weight training with a trainer, and it seemed to calm me down for all the stresses of single motherhood and work and juggling all of that and that. But with that, I pursued certification. So it was my second career. I pursued many certifications in spinning, in kickboxing, in boxing, all around group fitness. And so I managed to hone that into a group fitness career and then personal training. I love it. It's been great for my longevity in terms of aging. So it's all
I think
good.
it's amazing. You look amazing. It just exudes out of every pore of your being. It's just and it's your energy, right? And I think that it all kind of feeds into itself. I mean, so how old are you?
I am 65
Which is
and just applied for
crazy.
Medicare, which is crazy.
Which is crazy. And I
Crazy.
think you can lift more than most 20-year-olds can lift. So, I mean,
Well, I'm
I
just
love
trying to lift
that
my body.
estimates.
I'm just
What?
trying to lift my body up.
And then some. It's so awesome. I mean, and I'm sure a lot of your students, a lot of people, who see you on Instagram or whatever, they would just want to be you, right? But of course, where you are today, I mean, it's a job, right? You work at it every single day. And so where are people at? Where do you see people at? Like, what is your philosophy around movement and exercise? And what do we need to be doing more, especially as we're aging, if we want to age well? Because that's my whole thing, right? Aging doesn't start when you're 65. I mean, aging starts the day that you're born, and it's all the lifestyle things. So, what can we do to really help ourselves age better, age in a healthier way?
Well, I think the mindset is that you really have to keep moving and keep it going. I think if you sit still and become sedentary, the body kind of shuts down. If you look at studies, and we follow many different studies, when people pass away, they don't pass away from their condition. It's more about a result of them falling down, and it's a result of the fall and the not movement that makes them pass away. So you've got to keep moving. Your body is in a 360-degree movement pattern all of the time. That's why when we talk to most of the individuals who don't care for the E word, which is exercise, or the W word, which is workout, we speak in terms of movement. And that movement can be bending over, moving your hands, getting outside, enjoying ecotherapy, all of those simple things that we don't think about anymore because we've been sheltering in place for almost 3 years now.
Yeah, no, I agree. And
A
I think
lot
that,
less movement.
and that has real, detrimental effects to our health, right? Physically, mentally. Um, so tell me a little bit of what you do. Like, what are you working out? What are you doing every single day? Are you always, I'm assuming you do weight training, but you're not, are you doing weight training every day? Are you doing cardio? Are you doing like, how important is it to kind of get in all of the things?
Well, it's more about a focus on strength, and that is strength for men and women, but particularly for women to prevent osteoporosis. You want the bones to be, supported with the muscles. So we don't call it necessarily weight training. We call it strength training. Strength could be lifting up the laundry basket, something simple. It depends on the individual person and their lifestyle. For me, I do some level of strength training 3 to 4 days a week because my position, my lifestyle is such that I'm moving around constantly, constantly moving, constantly lifting, constantly working with clients, working on projects, and moving and lifting things. In addition to that, I do some cardio. I spin, I run, and I have a total hip replacement, and I run. Um, and I
Wow.
also also box. But again, it's depending on your lifestyle. And what we try attempt to do is to position it based on your lifestyle. So it's almost like an exercise prescription just for you, Risa, depending on what you do.
Right,
It's
because we're
really
all
that simple.
bio-individual, right? That totally makes sense. Like, we eat differently, we do different things, we have different jobs, we do, right? So if you're going to customize a workout, what are you taking into account? Like, if I'm thinking about, I'm at the desk a lot, I do a lot of computer work, what kinds of things should I be thinking about? I'm
Well,
54 years old and I know that I'm supposed to get up out of the chair, right? For
right.
me, I do, but I know a lot of people, I don't think they even know how to motivate themselves to start.
Right, that can be a difficult challenge. I think one of the things is that everyone is sitting in front of these cameras now and doing Zoom. So, obviously you have to get up to have lunch, to get some water, to take a break, a restroom break. And I think I would use that opportunity to not just get up and do something for 2 or 3 minutes, but go outside, breathe some fresh air. We call that ecotherapy, where you're outside. It's almost as if it's meditation. And I'm not a big meditation person, but I can certainly feel the difference when I go outside and can hear the birds and the cars go by. It's just a whole different feeling. Plus, one of the things that I personally find is my experience is getting out of the air conditioning is really good. I don't care how warm it is outside. I think it kind of refreshes the lungs and the air because the air that's coming in is filtered, but you want to get out and just kind of move around and breathe. So I would take a 5 minute break. I think last week on Good Morning America, they quoted a physician that said many breaks are good, especially for those that sit in front of a computer all day long. So you really
Yeah.
want to get up and do that. I would also
53
encourage,
minutes, I said.
right, right, exactly. I would also encourage people to throw their shoulders back, kind of move their shoulders around. So, if you're in a meeting and, someone takes a break or they're talking, you can put your screen on, so they can't see you. And then your profile picture is up and you're kind of just moving like this. And here, moving your shoulders is very critical. And so I'll give you a little demonstration here. You want to be able to move your shoulders and pull your shoulders down. And that's called depressing your scapula. This is elevating your scapula, and this is depressing your scapula. And with that, you're getting that movement all in your lats, all right? And you're not as much prone to this kind of posture where you're here all day long. I find that when I work in the office 4 or 5 hours a day, I am hunched over and need to perform exercises to bring my arms out to the side and lift up.
Right. Well, let's
So,
talk about posture a little bit. So, why is posture so critical, especially as we get older, right? I mean, there's kyphosis, there's all these things that can happen, but there's real serious ailments that can come out of like not having proper posture, right? Because all your organs are starting to crunch up as well.
yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a wonderful layperson's kind of analogy. I love that. I love that. Poor posture is related to a number of chronic conditions related to pain, sciatica, leg pain, and neck pain for sure. I see many clients who have neck pain. You know, the head weighs about 13 pounds, about the size of a bowling ball. So it's important that it is always elevated, but when it begins to sloop and sloop, that is more pressure on your back and your neck, which could result in fatty neck hump. So sometimes you see individuals with this hump back here, and it just means that their head has put so much pressure on the back of their neck that they're like this and they're unable to straighten up. So
Wow.
that is a long-term effect of leaning over. So you want to try to, pull your shoulders back and down and understand that your posture will keep you out of pain if you practice a little bit of good posture. For example, in your car is probably already set to a certain seat position. Every day I change the seat position in my car because I want it, maybe I'm the day before I did a lot of things in my office. So I'm hunched over. I want to put it back and throw my shoulders back and support my back with the lumbar support and maybe move my arms, or practice my chin exercises. I have ladies who tell me they practice their lower body ab exercises in the car while they're just sitting there contracting and contracting. So there's so many things you can do while you're not thinking. We all sit in traffic or commute. I know you're in New York and commuting is very big. Here in Miami, everything is driving. So you're sitting there driving, you just want to move around just a bit because everything takes about 45 minutes to get anywhere in this city. Yeah, you got it.
Right.
Rounding
Right.
your shoulders, but trying to keep your scapula. So here's rounding my shoulders with my scapula elevated. This is rounding my shoulders. See my scapula is down? Here. And it's much harder. And so it releases the muscles in the neck, the scalene muscles, your trapezius muscles, which are here. Gives you a nice, long, youthful neck.
Before we started, we were talking about the necks. We were talking about the wings. We were talking about, a lot of things that women are, quite frankly, concerned about, right? And it's kind of like their first noticeable signs of, oh my God, I'm getting old. But there are things that we can do to tighten those muscles and tighten the skin, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. This is something that I saw a long time ago in a facial exercise book, but I've kind of adopted it for myself. And what you do is you attempt to pull your shoulders back and down, and you place your bottom teeth in front of your top teeth like this, and then you just go up and down. So I'll show you from the side. It looks kind of goofy, but it's okay. And then you pull your shoulders back, and consequently, you're exercising this little turkey neck right here and strengthening in here because now our culture with the pandemic, you're zooming all day long, you're holding your phone here, and I have my clients hold their phone here. It's much more difficult, but the body is more upright, and so the chest is more upright, and so you're actually performing movement. And for that 20% that loves exercise and working out, you're actually working out because you're fighting gravity with your arm up.
Right.
So the
And you're
muscles
less likely to
engage,
be on your phone for a long time, which is also good.
which is also good, but you're also looking up. So most of the day we're here and now we're here. Something so simple that could possibly change how you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror. When you look in the mirror and place your makeup on, you're never going like this with your lipstick. You're looking up. And so we want to take that simple practice, that simple habit, and adjust it, for everyday use. Make it functional. Functional. We have daily living activities, we call them DLAs. And so those are the things we want everyone to focus on, but the 80% that just hates the word workout, I can't deal with it. Instead of saying, you have to be like me. No, you don't. You should be like you, and I will show you how you can accomplish finding your own self, finding your own way by doing a couple of simple things to start with. And if that's good enough for you, that's fine. If you'd like to learn some more, I'm happy to show you some more and move you towards that aging, but aging well mindset.
That's great. That's so great. And I think that it's so important, right, to just really, first of all, accept where we're at, right? And then kind of move within our means of where we want to go to. But I think that we all can agree that we want to live independently as long as possible, right? That's really the goal, that we want to be able to, whether it's our pick up our own grandchildren. For me, being independent is critical. My mom had a stroke when she was 65. She for the rest of her life, which was about 19 years out, she died at 84. She needed the help of somebody, and I don't want to go down that route. So that's why this, having interviews like this, talking to people like you, doing the exercise, doing the work is so, so critical, because I don't want others to have to go down that route that my mom did, because we don't have to if we take care of ourselves. So what else are we talking about? We're talking about wings. How do we prevent our little,
Well,
I'm
in
not putting
addition,
my arms up next to yours, but
in addition to holding the phone up, you could hold the phone and just move the arm back and forth. And let me get on camera so you can see. So that is engaging my tricep under here. But that simple movement alone will engage the bicep, as we're talking about aging. Because if you look at your arm, the wrinkles in here give away age as well. So if we fill up the bicep a little more, it looks a little nicer. And all this is just not about vanity. It's really about feeling good and being able to utilize that arm to reach out, to hug one of your children, to hug someone that you love, to be able to pick things up and maintain an independent life. It's all about, our whole notion is all about the quality of life, maintaining the quality of life. You want playtime. You want to do the things you've always done, and maybe you have to modify them. You want cognitive impact. You want to be able to think as long as you can, all right? And you want to be able to move. It's all about that movement on your own. All of us are going to have a condition that is going to break our body down. And obviously, we're all going to pass along at some point. But you want to live the best quality of life and as richly as you can. 3 years ago, I had a hip replacement, and that's how I moved into this medical wellness fitness area now, because they said I needed a hip replacement. I researched a doctor. I went to visit him. We talked about the surgery, and I immediately went into a prehab, which is never done. But because I was already in the industry, in this space, I understood that I needed to train for as long as I could, because after the surgery, my body was going to change. And with any surgery whatsoever, your body is never the same. Never, never, never the same. So you have to adjust. And in my situation, the doctor was absolutely wonderful. He's a sports medicine doctor. He did a hip replacement in the front. The scar is about 5 inches long. But his number one priority was to take me out of pain, which is fine, well, and good. However, one of my legs is now longer than the other. And understand that the body is not symmetrical to start with. However, with one leg longer than the other and being in a position in the space I am, it is a critical impairment. And so I had to come out of that with a solution. The pain was relieved. I had the surgery. I went back to work in 8 days. One day too soon, I taught a water class on a cane in 8 days because I had prehab. So that speaks to the benefit of working out before, but also I had to deal with this one leg shorter than the other. And so I went to see my podiatrist, who is like a guru for me, who gave me this insight on how we could adjust it with orthotics. And so we did that, and I'm able to run. It's a little bit off, but it's better because they put an extension in there and things are better. And then now with the rehab, after I really trained, I'm able to run, jump. I can do plyometrics. I don't know if you know what they are. That's where you jump up on boxes. Not really high for 65, but I can still get that spontaneous elevation quickly with my legs and develop my legs, because that's critical in terms of longevity. I read an article the other day that says walking will determine longevity, because if you can continue to walk, you have a better chance of living. The minute someone shuts down or falls down and they're not able to move, the body shuts down, the muscle's going to atrophy. And so you just want to keep moving, moving, moving at your own pace, whatever your lifestyle is. Same with food.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
expect people to eat like we do, and we don't eat that rigidly. My A1C was up recently, of all things, me. And people go,
Wow.
"Oh my God, not you.
Yeah.
You're not pre-diabetic." Well, yes, 88 million Americans are pre-diabetic. And so it is not a cause for panic. What it is a wake-up call that perhaps you can adjust your diet, and you don't necessarily need to go on a medication like metformin or one of the other medications. And again, within my scope of service, as I am not a physician, if the physician highly recommends you do that, then you should follow that. My only point is you have to be an educated consumer and understand that pre-diabetic is not totally diabetic. It is a wonderful opportunity for you to change your habits and the way you think. No medication medication in my mind, and it's been my experience, does not cure things. It masks things.
Right. I
And
agree.
so you want to address it. Now, again, if the doctor says you must have this, you have to go with your doctor. But I think with that point being said, you must address the doctor with questions about side effects. How will this work with other medications? How does that impact that? What is the long-term side effects? Is there a way I can correct this before? Will exercise help?
Right. I can't imagine exercise never not helping. I mean,
Well,
no,
it's a difficult thing. I recently read that when you go to a doctor, they ask you about your blood pressure. Do you drink? Do you smoke? Okay,
right.
but they never ask you, do you exercise, which is a predictor of longevity. Do you walk? How many hours a day do you get outside and enjoy ecotherapy? That's not part of the mindset of Western medicine, and that's where we're hoping to bridge that through becoming healthcare entrepreneurs.
That's amazing. Well, tell me a little bit about your book.
Oh, the ageless workout. Yes. So the ageless workout method has been out for about almost a year. We're already writing our second edition. And what we hope to make it is like a supermarket book that you can pick it up and refer to it a number of times. If you're looking for some inspiration or you're looking for information about women in fitness, men in fitness, it's all about the mindset and surrounding yourself with individuals who are like minded. That's why we are the Aegis Workout Tribe, because tribe members are like minded individuals who practice the same kind of thinking. Not exactly the same. You don't have to be a bodybuilder, but you have to understand some of the basic principles of how do you manage, how do you eat, how do you provide for your family. Childhood obesity is way on the rise, far too much. And so that's as a result of people perhaps not understanding how to feed their children and their nutritional needs. I know from my experience being a special needs mother that it is a whole nother opening of challenges working with a special needs individual because they don't have the access. You're always with them. It's not like they go to high school and they go to college and they move on in their life. My son is still with me, so I am still managing a part of his life, joyfully so, I must say, joyfully so. But I am teaching him continuously to eat the right things, to practice exercise, to keep moving. And a lot of mothers in this position don't have any time for themselves because they work and then they have themselves, other family members, and then this one individual, their son, their daughter, or a loved one that it's a constant commitment. And so then where does that leave you in terms of time for yourself and self-care, which is a whole nother subject I could talk to you about for hours.
Yeah, I bet. And that's, yeah, we definitely don't, as women especially, self-care tends to, keep going on the bottom rungs. And that's, I think, why we don't move enough, right? It's, we're constantly trying to worry about whoever, that's in the family, a parent, a child, or whatnot. But I think that, which actually is a great segue into, that you've created a video for us, a demo video of simple movement, simple exercises that we can do in the home, right? As we're doing other things, You want to give me a little bit of a synopsis of what people can, and I'm going to put the link in the description section so people can go and click right on it, because I think this is really great to kind of integrate into one's day.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. I 100% agree with you. I think what I will focus on is some movement of the lower body because as women, as we get older and go through perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, this is a subject that's not talked about very much in open forum. And so I'm very open with women about this and that we need to move our lower bodies and work our internal organs, whether we've had surgeries or not, or children or not. It is encompassing of all of us that we should work our abs, our transverse abs, our hips for flexibility, and our legs because our legs carry us around. So I would be doing something a little bit on lower body, things you can do in the car, believe it or not, or sitting at the dinner table, or simply how you sit with posture. And then I would move up to the middle of the body and talk about back and sitting up with your back and exercise you can do to move forward, backwards, sideways, all in a 360-degree motion on all three planes. And then moving up to the head, because I like to start with the feet and work up from the ground and work up. And so ending up with the upper body and lifting through the head and exercises you can do to pull your shoulders back and down. So when you do go out on date night or you do go out in the morning to a meeting, you open that door resilient and ready to go no matter how you're really feeling, but your mindset is there. And you've done 1, 2, or 3 exercises. Or in the evening when everything goes wrong and you have to work late and the boss says you need to stay and do something. Because as women, we're all or nothing. You know, we have a plan in the morning. We're either going to go to the gym in the morning or go to the gym at night or exercise on Zoom or do a Zumba class or whatever. And then things go awry during the day and we're usually not able to switch around, or we switch it around, but we say, oh, well, don't worry about me. I'll do it tomorrow. And I don't want to see women do that anymore. I want you to make a joy choice of moving forward to say, well, maybe we'll have dinner a little later and my spouse and I and the kids will go for a walk, or we'll get on our bikes, or I'll simply just, lay here and watch a Peloton class or whatever subscription service. And you do that for 10 or 15 minutes. You can do that before you go to bed. And therefore you have this sense of accomplishment that you got it in. It wasn't what you wanted, but you got it in. Today wasn't what I wanted. I was feeling very sluggish, if you must know the truth. And at 3 o'clock, we got up and we moved around. Our regular time is 4, and then it was a little sluggish, and then we had to get ourselves going. I got to the gym. I did an hour and 15-minute workout, and I was tired. So I came back, readjusted, had some breakfast, did some paperwork, and, I feel accomplished. Do I feel like I did the best workout? No, but I got something done, and I think that sense of accomplishment for women is so, so important in terms of their own time. It's more than a manicure. It's more than a pedicure. It's more than getting your hair done. It's about the movement and then how all of that works into becoming the person that you're comfortable with for your lifestyle.
I think that's so, so great. Shebah, if people want to find out more about you and what you do, where do they go? How do they find you?
Well, I have a website, panachefitness.com, and also an Instagram page at Panache Fitness. But we also fly under the banner of the agelessworkout.com and Ageless Workout on Instagram.
Shebah, thank you so, so much. This has been really amazing.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Risa. We are quite honored to be a part of the Modern Aging.